Cannons on the Hydra and the laser are overhated. They are really powerful though, dude. They can blow up stuff very easily, especially if you're someone who is accurate with them. You can be quite a menace with them for sure. The casino heists are incredibly boring to play. No, just hold up there a moment, champion. Like, well, I'm inclined to agree that the prep missions can feel a bit tedious, especially if you're playing by yourself and have to drive all the way to Polito to get, like, you know, 2 different sets of guns. I am inclined to say that the casino heist is one of the, if not the best heist within the game. The amount of variety and the amount of different ways you can approach the heist definitely makes it very interesting. I think it's mostly from a finale's perspective though. GTA didn't get worse with additions like the Oppressor Mark II. The enjoyment of the game has just gone down because it's got so old and there was so little to do the more that you do it. Doesn't matter if you get the best DLC in existence, GTA will never feel like it used to because we've aged a lot. Yes, 1000% yes. With every DLC that they add, there's undoubtedly a lot of people that are feeling like, yeah, this is nice, this is cool, but have I really got something new and fresh that I haven't done in the game yet, and my progression is still not going to feel any different? I think the game really needs to have more additional things to progress towards and get rewarded for to make the game feel a lot more interesting for especially those long-term players. Because, yeah, just a new car and some new vehicles or just a couple new missions really isn't going to cut it for most players in a game this old. Clothing from the casino Lucky Wheel is the best win because it's a chance of limited clothing from the past/old event weeks. I guess. I mean, from my point of view, I basically have everything already, so I think getting stuff that I am not able to get through the Lucky Wheel is probably a good thing, but other than that, Cayo Perico is just a good way to make money and not a good heist. If you play the same heist approach 24/7, you are not allowed to say the game is boring. You are the reason why the game is boring. Yes, I'm very much inclined to agree because people are so focused on doing nothing but getting money and seeing that magical number go up. If people were to take away that moment where they're always focused on just making money and rather just go out and try death matches and races and adversary modes, matchmaking as a whole and the game as a whole would feel a lot more alive too, rather than everyone just being stuck in their invite-only sessions doing nothing but grinding their businesses and Cayo Perico and shit. Gang attacks are annoying to come across, especially when you're in the middle of doing a mission or pickup and it triggers. There needs to be a completion system added to somewhere where once you complete it, a gang attack, then it will be removed permanently. I'm inclined to agree. A lot of times I feel that the gang attacks, they don't really have much of a point in the game anymore. They've been around since the start. Sure, it makes the game feel a little bit more dynamic, but most of the time they're just kind of in the way, and I don't think anyone really missed them if they're gone, so I'd say just fuck it, get rid of them. The PS3 and Xbox 360 era was the best era. It felt like a crime simulator. I am going to disagree with this so hard for the simple reason that the PS3 and Xbox 360 era had so much less content than we currently have within the game. The updates were definitely not sufficient enough. The game was constantly crashing, especially during summer of 2014 on 360. It was not really meant for that console at all. The game was not handling it well to be on those platforms. It became better during the PS4 and like PS5 era, you know, whenever the PS4 version dropped, that's kind of where the game went in that direction, at least in my opinion. Sure, there's a lot of nostalgia around that time, but I think don't let your nostalgia cloud by how little there was really to do in comparison to now. Because we didn't even have heists back then. We could just do races, death matches, and some contact missions. It really was few and far between. Oh, this stays on the topic with the griefing. Griefing never really has been a problem in GTA Online. The threat of being griefed was meant to encourage players to learn how to defend themselves and play with friends. If you choose to not properly engage with the sandbox, you're in large part at fault. Ooh. Ooh, that's spicy. I feel that griefing in many ways, it's not really a game problem. It's a player-based problem, if it makes sense, right? I feel that if there was enough things to do, then I think you could also have more people to go and do those things. Removing the KD from free roam probably is not going to do anything at all, because some people are just assholes. And you can either decide to just live with the fact that you're being griefed, leave a lobby, or just learn to defend yourself, like Sutra is saying here. I personally never really was like, you know, make a big deal out of it. It's part of the game. Yeah, you can either just scream and cry about it on Reddit and Twitter and that sort of stuff, or you can just learn to accept the fact that it is part of the game. It's really going to be a hot take from yours truly. The KD removal benefits griefers more than anyone else. Probably, yeah, because now they don't have to worry about their KD anymore. So if they die 25,000 times, doesn't matter. KD not informed, still got a 3.1 KD. Yeah. That's yeah. GTA Online is extremely stale and oversaturated with content to the point where it becomes a chore to do anything. The abundance of adversary modes or other modes that people play for a week and don't touch again make the game feel stale. Yeah, there's definitely a oversaturation with the amount of content, and more so quality content, because especially with the matchmaking of the game, I think it reaches a point where someone wants to play a certain mode or just anything at all and just ends up with lobbies with like 4 players, and then just like, you know what, never mind, then go back in free mode, and then undoubtedly get killed by some dude who doesn't have a lot of confidence in real life and needs to feed that by getting a few kills by someone standing still in a video game. The game definitely feels stale at points, and you really have to try to figure out your own fun with it. Personally, I do that by streaming the game and doing playlists on my stream, but outside of that, I would not know what to do in the game at this point. It's been way too long. GTA Online offers enough to be exactly what it costs and is not a bad idea. Ooh. I feel that in many ways they figured out what exactly they want to do with GTA Online on a monthly basis, and it is probably pretty decent for the value that you get. It's one of those bonuses where you're kind of like, man, that looks really nice, I would want to get it. But if you don't get it, you'll probably not really miss out on a heap of it. It's incisive enough for people to go like, I might end up getting it, but it's also not too incisive where it's like, I'm gonna spend actual money on this. At least that's how I personally feel. Confession time as well, by the way. I've had GTA Plus since launch, and I never really utilize any of the bonuses because I don't care enough. I just have it for the videos. GTA Online should be more roleplay focused. Futuristic or sci-fi stuff should not exist. The interaction menu should never have existed. It gave Rockstar a way to be half-assed with their implementations for new features and functions. Most features in this game sacrifice logic for convenience. I think your approach is also just vastly wrong, because I think I'm gonna be inclined to disagree with this. A more roleplay focused thing wouldn't really go well in a game that is trying to massively appeal to as many people as possible. I personally am a fan of role-playing. I do it myself on NoPixel, but I don't think that in GTA Online it would go a long way. I think it will scare away more players than it will attract more players. Having an interaction menu, which definitely could do with some work. The UI definitely has some flaws here and there, but overall the interaction menu is kind of functional. There's definitely a lot of stuff in there just get thrown in there and just basically clutters the whole thing. But I think for many aspects it's just a one-stop spot for basically everything that you need within the game, which is probably the point, and definitely makes it convenient, like you're saying. And yeah, sure, it defies some logic in many ways, but it's a game. I wouldn't look too deeply into it, especially because it's online. Cayo Perico is an enjoyable heist.